Okay, so we're doing this audit in Barre, and I'm about to take the measurements in the house as Jim sets up the blower door. Hi! Yes, it's me again. I know. I'm not even bark worthy. That's awesome.
As long as it's not QAnon.
No, QAnon. No.
It had the windows open, but Chris is tracking right about 58% humidity.
Okay. Which for this time of year is not crazy for an indoor relative humidity.
We're supposed to have a return of summer at the end of the week, I hear.
Well, we've had those windows open for a while.
I love this.
Yeah.
Love this.
So your indoor relative humidity is going to be very close to your outdoor relative humidity.
Yeah.
65 degrees and 50% relative humidity.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, when I lived in Florida, when I just talked to them down there because we're going to be heading down there someday to go to an internship with the sheriff's department down there because he goes to Norwood every lesson. So we're going down there soon. I was talking to them, and it reminds me of the flightline days where it would be 126-degree heat index, and it's just nasty. I mean, the moment you wake, it gets down to 75 degrees at the low to 80 at night, and you're just humid, and you just can't. You can't dry.
When we were in California, I think the coolest it got was like 80.
Yeah.
But we were lucky the day we went to the zoo, it was cloudy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was only about 7. It was probably 75.
Yeah, it was more like 75.
See, we lived in East County when I was there, so that would get on 2-day practices. Some of them were 105 degrees. Yeah, just devastating. But you go into the town.
21 foot across. So I just took this measurement. So 21 feet.
Yes. Yeah, it's always about 62 to 66 degrees.
And then from here to there
Yeah, well, we never.
is 7.5. So this is 7.5.
Yeah. That was fun. We did that. That was fun.
13.5.
Hey, maybe we should go back.
And then the depth here,
It's like the circus.
2.5.
But now San Francisco, we're only
And the, I need this as well.
outside of the top mountain roads, and we're going to see him
2 point, yeah, so this is us just 2.5 and call it 2.5 or 3 feet. Okay, and so this wall runs all the way down so that would be this wall all the way to the back of the building. So we're going to take a measurement from here all the way through to the back of the building. 30, call it 38 feet.
But there's also
So this
some enabling principles too. But anyway, all I'm saying is when I was
to here, I
just in
think,
the Air
right?
Force, I went and spent one day in San Francisco. We went from Chinatown to
Dun,
top
dun,
of the
dun,
tower
dun, dun.
with streetcars, everything else with some friends from college and such. It was the most fun day I had, and yet I wish I could experience that.
So
with them,
from
but yet
here,
now it tastes different. So I don't
all the way down to here
My dad
is 30,
Sure.
He went back and he didn't have much
38 feet,
Basically, it's
right? And then we've got this.
I know exactly what it means.
And he lives
It's like the Full House days.
He lives in Haines City right now.
The thing is, if I heard, this made no news either. It was a blurb yesterday morning that Alaska got an 8.2.
Yeah, huge earthquake.
Huge.
And tsunami watch in Hawaii.
Yeah, so, that whole chain coming down from Alaska through San Francisco. What they did after 1906 is they took all the rubble from the buildings and just pushed it down near the bay and built on top of it. So
That's
it's
exact. So it was all built on fill. Yeah, the entire.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if there's another one like they had,
In 1903. Yeah.
done. Yeah, not very smart.
Well, I doubt they were thinking this far ahead.
Well, they're building in Florida on top of fill without any piles, and it's causing buildings to collapse. So why not? Back in.
But when you have it inspected and you tell people don't do it, and they do a cost-benefit analysis,
Yeah.
Human life, I don't think that's a great cost.
No, it's not a good trade-off.
Yeah, I don't know when those lawsuits will ever stop. Let's put it that way.
That guy's got to have some really good errors and omissions for his insurance. The engineer who went there and said, "Oh, it's not going to collapse." Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll just save you money, come on.
Yeah. They had millions and millions of dollars in maintenance they weren't actually applying. They should all go to jail.
Yeah, that's bad. Just messing with people.
Yep. And this should all track. So here's the back. If I take the measurement from the back of this wall to that wall. And then I hit the plus button here. And then I take from here to that wall. And that should be to that wall. And add them together. We were at 30 and a bit back and forth. So it's saying 40. I had 38 downstairs. We're gonna call it 38. So we're just confirming these 14, perfect. And this is interesting. This is an exterior door inside, because what we're about to walk into was a 3-season porch. And the people that renovated the house and flipped it and sold it to this couple turned it into an indoor room. So it's 13 and a half, so it's basically 14 feet. It's a little bit shorter. And 12.5. So this is 12.5 feet. And this is 13.5 feet. And the difference is probably just that bit. Okay. And that's still open. We'll have to close that for the blower door, but this is the things about this room. The floor is very soft, so when I bounce on the floor, not very much, the entire room shakes. So we're going to take a look in the basement about maybe making that better. And the ceiling here, this kind of beadboard here is the ceiling. So not at all air sealed. Didn't do a great job dropping the ceiling down from the original porch, which you can still see up there, the original porch ceiling. And there's almost no insulation in there, although there's a room for it. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. Let me just turn the... So the reason I'm doing this work, I'm taking measurements of the house, is because we need to get a volume of the house in order to translate the air leakage into an air changes per hour at 50 pascals, which is a measurement we can use in different locations and compare things to, right? The residential building energy standard, RBs for Vermont, is based on air changes per hour, the air tightness, maximum allowable air tightness for a house. The maximum allowable air leakage for a house is 3 air changes per hour, 50 pascals in the state of Vermont. The RB is the residential building energy standard for new construction or for deep energy retrofits and things like that. Okay, so let me take a second and just sign up for a massage. I could certainly use one. Let me put this back in place so that we're not at least one big open hole. Not like this piece of wood was stopping a whole bunch of air from going up, even when it's perfectly in place. Come on. There we go. Get that in there. Get that in there. Back. Like almost. That's kind of what it was like. I can put one of the other boards up, but I'm not going to worry about that too much.
When we do some houses, we're going to do one here soon, we do the fog machine check, which I get a lot of comments of derision from Chris for even buying it, but now it's become very, very effective.
He says that. I don't remember writing.
Oh, you did too. He said, Jim, you just laughed and laughed. Anyway.
I grew up in the theater, so the
especially
theatrical fog is cool.
We turned it on and we didn't realize how aggressive it was, and we couldn't find it again to turn it off.
The first time we used it, we put it in this antechamber, kind of like this, and we turned it on because we were doing a suck test. So they usually do a pressurization test, which is the blow test, but we did depressurization. And I went into the room and literally I could not see my hands.
Stop it.
I got on my hands and knees and I'm crawling around. It was hilarious. It was absolutely.
We've learned better, but it has proven very effective. When you go to a construction site, pre-drywall, and we're going to do one this coming week, and then you do that with the whole crew there, and then they think they built a great assembly, which they have from a structural standpoint. But you can show them, here are the voids you created, here are the voids you left there, and it gets them all involved and excited the next time. And so it's really a neat tool.
Cool.
Just put a little flashlight on it maybe or something.
Well, we've learned better with the plugs. And
what happens when you put what happens when you put your high beams on in this fog?
Yeah.
It lights up the entire.
Literally, I had the experience where
Really nuts.
when they say you can't see your hand in front of your face when it's foggy outside, usually, yeah, you can. This, no. I was right here and I couldn't see anything.
That's crazy.
So how do you find it? Do you have to just?
I actually was listening every couple of moments. It goes.
You channel your
So
inner
you're going
Helen
for the
Keller.
sound, and you're trying not to bump your head on anything,
Yeah.
and you turn into like a ninja warrior.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Reach
Listen
out
for
with
the
your.
noise.
Yeah, you reach out with
Chris
your
is great at
voice.
echolocation. That's why it's Echo House of Vermont.
I'm a bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Second time bats have come up. What is it?
What is your Oh, I'd love to see some bats.
Not a
What's your
dolphin?
last name?
Lavin.
Yeah, I did see that.
Not like dolphin.
Oh.
With echolocation.
Yes, or bats, dolphins, all of those. Residence, Barre.
I just want to know how come they never did a mashup movie with Lassie and Flipper? You know, that would have been great back in the day.
Mr. Ed and Flipper.
Well, that too.
Ooh.
No, because you're supposed to be able to understand what they're saying by barking or squealing, like
Yeah.
the dolphin. What? Jimmy's stuck in the well? Again? What's wrong with Jimmy? He's always stuck in the
What
well.
the heck is with this kid? Okay, so that is that. Good. That makes much more sense with doing like that.
Nowadays it'd be like, Jimmy's playing video games? He's not outside?
He's stuck on the TV.
Yeah.
There's a very famous episode of The Simpsons where President Khan goes off the air, and there's this playing the Beethoven piece, bam, ba, da, 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 da,
Yeah.
and all the kids are like opening up the door and they're seeing their son and they're
Yeah.
season 4. The best season. Not surprising.
That is.
So this fan tops
sure?
out, it's, no,
Are we
this,
sure nothing's open?
this, I want this open because it communicates upstairs but not to the garage. Everything else should be open.
Yeah, all the windows are shut.
I think something feels open. That's just really aggressive.
And the basement door is still closed.
About 1,200. I'm not worried about the basement door. Changed it more than I expected.
They're not gonna lock there.
So if that's, oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna need to open that back up into the basement.
I got it.
Okay. So yes, the house is really neat.
Leave it somewhere.
When we're building new, we're trying to get under 100 square foot. Your current is 100. So this is when we say in a positive light, the house has many areas of opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
60,
I knew it would.
What was that?
I knew it would.
Yeah, let's go 6330.
So is
You
that
wanna
just?
get it under 100?
No, you can't. You won't be able to move this house unless you did. You
No,
raised the
yeah.
building and started over.
Yeah, exactly.
So no matter what, there's gonna be air coming from somewhere.
Well, like I said, you're starting with the gray area first. Deal with the excessive moisture. Deal with what's happening around there.
ABC.
Break like this is going to be BAC.
Okay.
Well, alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been working on getting the geography of the house, the geometry of the house done. I've got a floor plan here. I just turned it into volumes. And I got a spreadsheet open here. So this is the spreadsheet. We put in our volumes here, which we pull right out of here. So that's a volume. Grab this volume right here. Put that into the Excel spreadsheet. No, cancel. That's the basement. So put it under basement. Go back into the model and grab the first floor. get back in here and go first floor. And we're gonna go in here and get the second floor. And the air leakage was 6,330, which means that the house is 18.4, which is an equal leakage equivalent of 25.16 square inches, and a minimum air change of 3.3. Okay, I'm going to just turn this off for a second and go share this with the clients so that they can know and we can take that into account. And I'm not following Jim when he's doing his infrared. Okay, so I have estimated the volume of the house, and with the volume of the house estimated in 6,330 cubic feet per minute at 50 pascals, leaves us with 18.4 air changes per hour.
So can you tell me what that means?
Sure, I will be glad to. So if it's a simulated 22.5 mile per hour wind against the house, when you have that blowing against the house, every 3 minutes, all the heated air in the house is blown out and is replaced by freezing cold outside air. And then 3 minutes later, it happens again. So you're constantly, when you said earlier when we were starting that you're throwing BTUs into that room, you're not kidding. This house is so leaky. It's 10 times leakier than a brand new house is. If you were to build it right now. It's the same thing as having a 25-inch hole in the side of the house that's open all the time. So
that explains why I'm wearing sweatshirts all the time.
All the time. So this house,
that's historic though, because they used to wear their outdoor clothes.
That's exactly right.
To stay warm.
You had big fireplaces. Actually, this house was built just before distributed heating in houses, right? So they'd have a big wood stove in the kitchen that would be putting off BTUs. But when you came upstairs, there was no heat, and you wore your outside clothes. You had, foot-thick bedspreads, and you put, hot coals in the bedpan to warm it up when you got in it, and there was ice on the inside of the windows when you woke up. That's not that long ago. My mother-in-law is 92, and she was a child in the 1920s and 30s in the Netherlands. That's how they lived. You woke up with your clothes and went down to the kitchen and took them off and had breakfast before you went to school.
So Chris, I'm just showing you, all the walls so far have looked really good, except for this section here.
Pretty modeled.
Over.
Yeah.
So.
Does it look like they did
They did a gut.
They did a gut.
Yeah, because one, you don't have plaster on the walls.
Right.
You have this, and then they also mentioned that they talked to them and they said that they did.
So we're talking fiberglass in the outside
probably
walls?
Fiberglass in a smaller cavity. If there was back plaster, if not, it's probably going to be 3 inches. So an R13 at best, maybe an R11. Minus
framing losses is going down to an R9.
What's that?
So an R9 is not good. Code right now for a wall is R25.
Okay.
But it's not uncommon for a house like this to have that level of insulation in them. And getting at your walls is hard. We're not going to say rip your walls off. What we're going to say is do your attic, do your basement, and then we'll worry about the conditioned spaces in between.
So the ceiling, I told them that's because of that
strapping.
Yep. But over here, there's something that's going from the wall and up, so you got a pretty good communication pathway.
There's a path. So that means that there's a hole in the attic above that wall, and that the air is going in the cool times from the attic in, because we're sucking air out of the house right now, but in the wintertime that reverses, and that's one of the pathways air is getting out, as is our dancing insulation. And we can't even begin to talk about the massage room, because that's going to be... What Stephanie didn't say, if you come and take a look at this, try to close the door when the blower door is going. Yeah, so you can feel.
It's a little heavier.
You can feel.
Put your hand right here.
Oh, yep.
It's the air. This is an air cushion right now. You don't. If you want to open your door with air, you can do it. The basement had a similar thing. So this room and the basement are really big areas of opportunity, and the rest of the attic here. Well, if you get the basement done, the attic here, and I was talking to Joe about. The ceiling should be pulled out of here, and this should be completely redone. It's hardly a ceiling anyway. Right? Absolutely. It's just that little bit of, and there's cellulose on top of there. So your indoor air quality in there not be the best, especially in the wintertime. So
It's not cellulite on top there.
No.
Right?
no, no, I think that's Fight Club, right?
You don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
What's the first rule of Fight Club?
Yeah.
So basically right here, there's a communicating pathway here that can actually make it again a cold shower. That's just a cold shower from earlier. The thing here is it's going to be a communicating pathway.
Yeah.
So ceiling from above and the basement is going to shut that down.
Yeah.
It's very possible that if this is everything's aligned, it'll communicate from the basement too.
Yeah. It's okay for you.
Go lay down.
Yeah, I always turn the water on really high when I'm in the shower, so I can understand why there's the change right there.
No, I don't think the water issue is it at all. This is just showing what's going on behind the walls. I was just showing
behind
evidence
the
that there was water here earlier today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because this
yeah.
picks up on evaporative cooling.
Yeah, well, I took a shower right before you guys got
It's
here,
okay.
and
It's all good.
So,
This
we
is
didn't
a
want it to
master shower.
smell.
I don't know what you were
Didn't
thinking,
really
Stephanie.
smell.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, okay, we're good.
So yeah, this was definitely just never really meant to be like
Yeah.
fully insulated. for
Exactly.
sure.
And they did what I can say is probably one of the worst jobs I've ever seen
Oh, that's
on
good.
air sealing and insulating this
Yeah.
this
Oh,
room.
Yeah.
In the
for
basement, in the
Yeah.
floor, in the garage downstairs, the insulation is literally hanging between the joists.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
doing nothing.
I know,
And
right?
the ceiling is
Yeah.
that's your pressure plane.
Yeah.
This stuff is letting a lot less air through than that stuff is.
Yeah.
And I think they did a really half measure, not saying it nicely, of how they put the cellulose in. I'm almost thinking that they just stuck their head up here, kind of shot over.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I was thinking when I first got up there, but this verifies it.
Verifies it, yeah.
For sure.
Oh look, that's all
Yeah.
solar
They
drive,
missed
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They missed all this. Look at
Yeah.
this.
But when you stick your head up there, it looks like it's all full.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
If you didn't know anything about it.
That's
So Chris is right about taking this down. The only thing I would say is, if you take the trim down first, you're
You
going
might
to
be
be
able
able
to
to take
save
this
it,
down.
yeah.
You can be able to salvage this
Yeah,
because this
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
attached really well in the first place. I don't
Yeah.
think.
No.
You didn't put it up, did you?
no, the people who
Officers
did
qualify
it.
who did the work. We learned that the hard way one time. Oh, my husband did that. Sorry.
I don't care. I'm the one who read no mask on me. I'm the one who says whatever I'm thinking. And Jim's like,
I could have said there are
the
better
owner
attachment
did it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you did it badly. Sorry, I'm sorry. I
When
can't.
one where I felt so bad for the guy, he said, "Well, I think I could probably fix that." And his wife looked at him, angry. She said, "You're not touching a hand." Oh my God! Here's a number to a counselor.
Yeah. Right.